question, powered by Sarah.
कभी क्रिकेट मैच में चला जाएगा, वो अलग बात है कि हरवा दिया। पीएम मतलब पनौती मोदी।
The Prime Minister backs Team India, but Rahul at it again. He says men in blue lost because of the Prime Minister.
बहुत ही शर्मिंदगी का बयान है, ये गाली है, बिल्कुल मर्यादा विहीन। भारत के प्रधानमंत्री का पद गरिमा का पद होता है।
That is the BJP hitting out at the Congress, endorsing Rahul Gandhi's bizarre Panoti logic. They want an apology. The Enforcement Directorate attaches properties worth 751 crore belonging to the AJL, which runs the National Herald newspaper. NCERT panel suggesting inclusion of the Indian epics Ramayana and the Mahabharata in textbooks. The Congress is promising a caste-based survey in the state of Rajasthan. The manifesto has been released. They even say the Prime Minister included his caste in the backward class. In Uttarakhand, the rescue teams establish an audio-visual communication with the trapped workers now. The Prime Minister also monitoring the entire situation. And 15 years since the 26/11 attacks, Israel taking a strong stand against terror, banning the Pakistan-based outfit Lashkar-e-Toiba. Hello and a very good evening. The state is Rajasthan. Rajasthan has 200 seats. This is a direct contest between the Congress and the BJP. And before you ask me who's winning the state, remember the state has a rivaz. The rivaz is that at least for the last 30 years, any incumbent government has not been voted back to power. So that is disadvantage Ashok Gehlot. But what is advantage Gehlot is the n number of welfare schemes that he has launched is what he believes. On the other side is the BJP that many say is a divided house in Rajasthan. It has put forward a Sankalp Patra and that also has a good enough highlights. It's a war of freebies, it's a war of the welfare schemes, and the question everyone continues to ask, ki paisa kahan se aayega? There are tons of schemes that have been announced. Election manifestos of both the parties, the BJP and the Congress now are out in the open. We'll tell you the highlights of them in just a moment. But do remember a day that essentially should have been dominated by headlines coming in from Rajasthan, and what are the Congress manifesto versus the BJP manifesto has been drowned by a comment that has been made by Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi has made a Panoti comment at the Prime Minister. But the question is, who's the real Panoti in Rajasthan? And on a day when Congress has released its own manifesto, they have a number of these highlights. Why has Rahul Gandhi taken such a low jibe at the Prime Minister is again what many people are wondering. If someone would have been thoughtful, he would have spoken about the many guarantees the Congress itself has launched. But Rahul Gandhi has not done that. And that is why there is a conspiracy theory that Rahul Gandhi perhaps does not want Ashok Gehlot to win. Now, just connect the 2 and 2 here. I'm a journalist. The reason why we'll put out all the facts for you. Let's quickly also get in highlights now that have come in from both the BJP and the Congress manifesto on a day where Rahul Gandhi has made that Panoti comment. First up, let's bring you highlights of what the Congress really has said. The Congress is working at a disadvantage here because the Congress, remember, has ruled the state there is a revaz, there is a tradition. Will Rahul Gandhi and Ashok Gehlot and company be able to buck the anti-incumbency trend? The Congress has promised a caste census. This is again a promise that they have reiterated in most of the states. We'll keep it quick so that we can, get more details of what the manifesto is versus the BJP's manifesto also. They've spoken about women, about farmers. There is a law for the old pension scheme. Now, Congress again has been working on the old pension scheme. They've done this also in the state of Himachal. They spoke about this also in Karnataka. Rajasthan, again, a state that has a good amount of government employees. They've also said that they will ensure an MSP for the farmers. Again, this is a big boost for the farming community that does hold a lot of stronghold, especially in the Jat belts in Haryana. Then the LPG cylinder that they are promising at rupees 500. This is, remember, for everyone. And this is again something that has been matched by the BJP. We'll also bring you details of what they say in just a moment. But this is a big catch. There is a Chiranjeevi scheme in place in Rajasthan. Medical insurance cover there existing was 25 lakhs. It has gone up to a whopping 50 lakhs. Ashok Gehlot believes this could be the game changer. Will that happen or not? Only December 3rd will tell us. Now also details of what the BJP has said so far. The BJP, remember, has been working on the charm, the charisma of the Prime Minister. Narendra Modi, their best foot forward. They released a Sankalp Patra earlier. This is what the BJP has said in their manifesto. The highlights will be on your screens in just a moment. SIT on scams like paper leak and Jal Jeevan. Lot of scams. The BJP talks about raises in the state of Rajasthan. Paper leak is something that affects a lot of youth. A lot of their careers have been affected. The BJP says we come to power, we'll have an SIT. Also, rupee 450 LPG subsidy for a gas cylinder for all the Ujjwala beneficiary. This is the distinction. The Congress says 500 for everyone. The BJP says 450 for the Ujjwala beneficiaries. Let's bring up the next detail on the screen for you to understand the next important highlight of what the BJP says. They've spoken about an anti-Romeo squad in each city. Crime against women, the NCRB data is very, very deafening for the Rajasthan government. The BJP has pulled them up every time around. The reason why an anti-Romeo squad is what they speak about. They also say Mahila Thana in almost all cities, something that already is also in place, and free education from KG to PG for girl children. Many would say a lot of this is freebie. But when it comes to freebies, remember, there is a very thin line that divides freebies and the welfare schemes. And like I said, paisa kahan se aayega is a crucial question that none of the state governments would want to respond to. Let's also bring up some more details before we deep dive into the subject, and a panel of guests that is just going to join us in a moment. We'll also get you highlights of how the entire battle has moved from a caste survey versus an SIT on paper leak. These are two very, very emotive issues. The Congress believes that this will be the game changer. The BJP says we come to power, we'll have an SIT on the paper leak. This brings us to our next detail, and I'm just requesting our team to keep this fast. So, we'll be able to talk much more about this in just a moment. Even as we speak, the Prime Minister is holding a road show, and you have seen that big manifesto war between both the Congress and the BJP. The state voting on the 25th, that is this Friday, and just days before that is where the manifesto has been put out. And it's a battle of freebies, quite literally, in Rajasthan. Ashok Gehlot says, I have a welfare state. My job, my duty is to ensure the welfare of those who need it. But the BJP again and again has been talking of reverie. They've stopped talking about the reverie culture now because the BJP itself is competing on the same plank here with Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan. And before we get in our panel of guests, let's quickly introduce how the entire story has moved, the sharp attacks that have come in from the Prime Minister, who's raked a number of issues, including the Achilles heel of Ashok Gehlot, that is the paper leak, versus the caste survey that has been announced by Ashok Gehlot before we begin the debate.
लेकिन कांग्रेस ने पिछले 5 साल में बार बार राजस्थान के युवाओं के सपनों को तोड़ा। ऐसी कोई परीक्षा नहीं, ऐसा कोई पेपर नहीं जो कांग्रेस ने बेचा नहीं,
सिर्फ राजस्थान के लिए नहीं, सारे हिंदुस्तान में हम जाति जनगणना करके रहेंगे। अगर दूसरों को दुख देने का, दूसरों को हरासमेंट करने का हमारा उद्देश्य नहीं है।
So has the Congress's manifesto been drowned by the Panoti headline, and is Rahul Gandhi responsible for that? Let's say good evening to our panel of guests joining us. I do see Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the BJP, with us. Shipra Mathur is also a senior journalist who has crisscrossed the entire state, and she'll tell us a lot of insight, much also like Sheetal P. Singh ji, who's also a senior journalist, and he also has some very, strong views and clarity on how the politics in the state has moved. We also do have Gyan Ranjanji, leader of the Congress. And my first question is, Gyan, to you as I say good evening to all of you. Why has Rahul Gandhi ensured that all the headlines that Ashok Gehlot could have garnered because of the manifesto today have been drowned by his Panoti comment? I mean, what is Rahul Gandhi thinking? Does he want Ashok Gehlot to lose the state?
No, this is nothing like that. You just wanted to know. In the previous few days back, the Prime Minister has used such a language which is not at all acceptable. See, forget about that. This is all in the rallies or the election speeches. What matters exactly is the 5 crore people of Rajasthan is watching everyone, watching the kind of fireworks done, the every hard work and the social welfare scheme has provided by the Ashok Gehlot government in Rajasthan was superb, everywhere discussed. Even in the COVID time, if you have seen that the Bhilwara model was appreciated across the world, not only in India, across the world.
You know what?
Even the
because time is of the essence, Gyanji, time is of the essence, and my only request is we'll keep our comments pointed. See what has happened, what Ashok Gehlot has done in the last 5 years today. आज तो मैनिफेस्टो रिलीज हुआ है ना कांग्रेस का, राहुल गांधी को उसकी बात करनी चाहिए थी. इंस्टेड उन्होंने प्रधानमंत्री पर एक पनौती कमेंट कर दिया और सारी हेडलाइंस बदल गई हैं. तो या तो ये माना जाए कि राहुल गांधी खुद चाहते हैं कि अशोक गहलोत हार जाएं, वरना वो मैनिफेस्टो की बात करते, उसकी चर्चा करते.
Let me speak. I got your point, what you're trying to ask. See, it's a very simple. This is nothing like that. But he's assuming what he said. He said that the World Cup loses. It doesn't mean that he said that. What? Try to understand what exactly. The only objective behind this election, the people of Rajasthan, 5 crore people approx going to vote, and they know how on what issues they are what. Congress always for the people, by the people, and to the people, and the Congress has done a super job. Especially, I wanted to make a note of that. 25 lakhs Chiranjeevi healthcare insurance now is going to increase to 50 lakh. That too included the IVF. You know how many women in India are not able to conceive, and that is also included as a part of social welfare schemes in the Chiranjeevi healthcare. So the people, the poor women also got a chance because of money. They are not able to get the son child. Now they will be able to get that. And again, I'm telling you, Rajasthan is going to set this example to the entire nation. And not only that, if you have seen that, even in the right to education scheme under that, 12th class, the girls, the students, there is not girls, the entire student in the private school, they are going to study free. This is the very big steps. This is a very big jump. Not only to the government sector, government schools, even the private schools, 12th up to 12th its education is free. That gives the right of education, which has the master.
See, but you know, Gyanji, I agree with everything you're saying, but I did not hear Rahul Gandhi talking about this. That's only my limited point. But okay, I mean, I do understand your compulsions. Before I get in Shipra and Sheetal P. Singh ji into the conversation for their unbiased view on what's happening, Siddharth. ठीक है, Gyanji, I'll come back to you. Siddharth, tell me something. You have tons of chief ministerial aspirants. You have such a big face in Vasundhara Raje. Still, she's not projected. Narendra Modi is the only face in every assembly election. Siddharth.
No, first of all, Deepthi, I would also want to add on the Panoti comment that Rahul Gandhi has said. I think it is very important to understand that what in an election where in a state which was ruled by Congress for 5 years, if the tallest leader of Congress party goes to that state and does not speak of the achievements, he's trying to hide something. And what is he speaking about? He's speaking about the constitutionally highest position of the country, the executive head of the country about the Prime Minister.
Siddharth, I
and he
just
has
have
to
two
go down
little
that low,
requests. I'm
saying-
told that you're traveling, and I'm just losing your audio video, so I'll just request you to pull over on a side if possible, spend a few minutes talking to us, because your insight is very important into the entire debate. And the other thing is, I know you would want to latch on to the Panotti comment and go on. But my question is to get you back to Vasundhara Raje. Is Vasundhara Raje the BJP's chief minister in case the BJP wins the state? Yes or no?
Yes, Deepthi. First of all, my apologies that I'm on the move and I have to join you like this, but I would want you to excuse me due to the high election, the peak election time. I'm forced to do this.
Yes.
When it comes down to the leaders in our state, Deepthi, I think it can't be two things. Number one, we can't be saying that BJP has so many leaders and they don't have a state leader. We have so many leaders. That is our strength. Vasundhara ji is our leader. She's an ex-chief minister. You go and check out any rally of Vasundhara ji. She's doing maximum numbers of rallies. She's getting the maximum participation of people. She is participating as a karyakarta in this election. We have the largest followed leader of the world, Narendra Modi ji. If we have that leader of that stature, why would we not pitch in?
But he is not going to be the chief minister, no, Siddharth. During the last Rajasthan election, we've seen what has happened, and Shipra and Sheetal P. Singh ji will vouch for it. कि नरेंद्र मोदी से बैर नहीं और वसुंधरा तेरी खैर नहीं. We've seen those slogans, we've heard those slogans, and Siddharth, I do understand your compulsions, but let me get in first up Shipra and then Sheetal ji on this conversation. Now Shipra, from where you are, how do you see this battle of manifestos? Siddharth, I'm going to come back to you. Okay, 30 seconds yours, then Shipra.
Yes, just 30 seconds. I think, Deepthi, a lot of these things are just for drawing room and TV debates.
Yes.
And
Siddharth will complete his point, then I'm going to come back to you. Siddharth.
Are ready. The people are ready. They're ready. They're supporting BJP. The BJP is coming with a thumping majority. There's no confusion in people. People are with Vasundhara Raje ji. They are with Rajendra Rathod ji. They are with Gajendra Singh Shekhawat ji. They are with CP Joshi. They are with everybody. The people are against the paper leak, against 17 days a day, against the misuse.
Siddharth, there is
against the misuse of government machinery.
12 ऐसे चेहरे हैं जो मुख्यमंत्री के एस्पिरेंट हैं राजस्थान में. आप सब लोगों के नाम लेंगे, अच्छी बात है, लेकिन फिर आप कहेंगे तो कलेक्टिव लीडरशिप है. लेकिन देखिए, आप भी समझ गए मैं आपसे क्या सवाल पूछ रही थी. दैट वसुंधरा वाज एक्चुअली ब्रॉट फॉरवर्ड टुवर्ड्स द स्लॉग ओवर. सिद्धार्थ, हाँ, ये आपकी ताकत है, वहां सही है, लेकिन आप INDA अलायंस से पूछते हैं आपका चेहरा कौन है, वो भी कहते हैं कलेक्टिव लीडरशिप है ना. तो यू कैंट रन विद द हेयर एंड हंट विद द हाउंड. पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज की यही तो बेस्ट खासियत होती है ना, कि आप लोग अपने हिसाब से पाले बदलते रहते हैं. ठीक है सिद्धार्थ, I will come back to you, Siddharth. I will come back to you. Let's quickly get in Shipra and Sheetal also. Shipra. Now, Shipra, where you are, this is a battle of freebies. Freebies and welfare has a very thin line dividing them. Rajasthan has a huge debt. How are you looking at this? I mean, are these even realistic promises that both parties have made, Shipra?
Absolutely. So that's the right question, because 7 guarantees earlier and now again 7 guarantees by Congress party. So 2 parts of their announcements. And BJP has already announced in a big way. And as you also pointed out, that setting up an SIT, because apparently they are targeting the paper leak as a big issue, and safety of women, because these are 2 very disturbing issues in Rajasthan. So far as the manifesto pointers are concerned, I feel, frankly, that some of the points are really valid. In terms of the demands in the state for many, many, many years, like setting up of, Vidhan Parishad. So, these kind of issues are really relevant. But these freebies, if I give you an idea about the ground reality, people are not really, very excited about these announcements anymore. Because last time also the kind of announcements that the Congress party had made and they came into power. So most of the announcements were either executed too late or not at all, reached to the ground. So that has been a big concern, and safety and law and order issue is a big, big, big concern. So how is it that in 5 years, if you're not able to deliver on the ground, and apparently in previous meetings of the Congress party within also, they have also pointed out that anti-incumbency at the constituency level was a big concern, and it was asked from the sitting MLAs that how are you going to address this anti-incumbency? And if I give you an idea about the current state, the voter is very silent because they are just observing the announcements, because their concern is how will you execute it. So that remains a big worry, and they are not opening up their cards, and they will not open till 25th, I suppose. So the fight, as I see, is very close.
Okay.
Voter is silent. And these manifestos are not at all taken too seriously by the voters, because they are seeing the realities on the ground. And in each constituency, the local issues also matter. And when we see the campaigning by the BJP and Congress both, especially BJP started with national issues, raising national issues and their achievements at the national levels. But at the, I think in different, in past 1 week or more, you see that the local issues are also being roped in. So there is a balance in the conversation or in the campaigning of the BJP, while Congress is still, I think it is still a little confused. Because some of the I may speak a little later, because one of the manifesto point that I can really give an idea about from my personal experience also, that RTE,
Shibra,
right to education,
we'll get into the finer points in just a moment. Let me also hear in what Sheetalji has to say. Siddharth apparently has been on the move, so we've just lost him. We hope to get him back quickly into the conversation. Now, Sheetalji, सवाल लोग ये पूछ रहे हैं कि राजस्थान के लिए कौन पनौती है, क्या हो गया राजस्थान में, क्या चल रहा है?
देखिए, आज जो डेवलपमेंट्स हैं ये पनौती वाला, और इसके पहले के जो डेवलपमेंट्स हैं जो मध्य प्रदेश से शुरू हो गया था, जिसमें प्रधानमंत्री जी ने राहुल गांधी को मूर्ख कहा था, ये हो जाता है इलेक्शंस में। स्लो लेवल पे लीडर्स पहुंच जाते हैं जहां नहीं पहुंचना चाहिए। एक तो ये, इसमें दो चीजें हो रही हैं। जो पहली चीज जो स्टेट के इलेक्शंस के बारे में है, जो अभी हमारे पूर्व वक्ता ने बताया, उसके बारे में तो मैं उस पर रिपीट नहीं करूंगा, लेकिन इसके साथ साथ 24 का जो नेशनल इलेक्शन है, उसके लिए ये जो इनकी राष्ट्रीय नेता हैं वो दरअसल वो इलेक्शन लड़ रहे हैं साथ साथ। आपने देखा कि स्टेट में जितने भी लीडर्स थे स्टेट के अभी तक इलेक्शन में, जब तक राहुल गांधी वगैरह कैंपेन में नहीं आए, उन्होंने कास्ट सेंसस की इशू को उस तरह से बड़ा नहीं किया था। लेकिन आज राहुल गांधी जब है वहां पर, तो और उनके पार्टी के चीफ ने सबसे ज्यादा इस पे एम्फेसिस किया, क्योंकि वो 24 के इलेक्शन को एड्रेस कर रहे हैं साथ साथ, और वो जानते हैं कि 24 के इलेक्शंस में वो और मोदी जी आमने सामने हैं, इसीलिए वो पनौती वाला विषय भी आ गया, क्योंकि वो दोनों चीजें साथ साथ चल रही हैं। इस इलेक्शन के जरिए अगले इलेक्शन की साथ साथ कैंपेनिंग हो रही है, और मोदी जी ने भी जो सारी चीजें अपने हाथ में ले रखी है सारे स्टेट्स में, और नीचे के लेवल पे लीडरशिप किसको देंगे, किसके जरिए प्रदेश का इलेक्शन लड़ेंगे, इसको जो विड्रॉ किया है, ये सिर्फ इसीलिए है कि 24 उनको बहुत सीरियसली समझ में आ रहा है कि वो इलेक्शन सीरियस होता जा रहा है। जब से इंडिया नाम का एक कॉम्बिनेशन सामने आया है, इसने एक ऐसी चुनौती दी है कि चूंकि पिछली बार के इन दोनों के अगर जो लोग इंडिया में हैं और जो लोग आज बीजेपी में हैं एनडीए के तौर पर, इन दोनों का वोट परसेंटेज बहुत आस पास है। अगर ये सब मिलजुल के लड़ते हैं तो एक बड़ी चुनौती है, तो इसलिए वो सीरियसनेस हमें दिख रही है इस इलेक्शन में। बीजेपी का जो कैंपेन पूरा का पूरा इन सारे 5 राज्यों के इलेक्शन में है, वो एम्फेसिस मोदी जी पर इसीलिए ज्यादा दे रहे हैं क्योंकि वो समझ रहे हैं कि वो हम साथ साथ 24 के चुनाव में जा रहे हैं, और अब राहुल गांधी ने भी और कांग्रेस ने भी उसी तरह का वो रख लिया है, इसलिए उनके निशाने पे मोदी जी हैं, वो भी 24 में उन्हीं को सामने रख रहे हैं। तो इसलिए ये इलेक्शन जो हो तो रहे हैं स्टेट्स में, और स्टेट के इश्यूज हैं, लेकिन नेशनल लीडर और नेशनल उनके जो लोग हैं वो अपना चुनाव भी साथ साथ लड़ रहे हैं।
ठीक है, अब आखिर के 2 मिनट बचे हैं, लेकिन मैं चाहती हूँ कि सब बोले, तो 30 सेकंड सब बोलेंगे तो ये डिबेट अच्छा रहेगा। सिद्धार्थ, अब रेवड़ी से आपको कोई परहेज नहीं है, नो प्रॉब्लम विद द रेवड़ीज, यू नो एवरीथिंग इज फाइन, बिकॉज यू विल से दिस इज वेलफेयर, नो? 30 seconds.
There's a difference, and you would understand that.
No. We are losing your audio. We are losing your audio, Siddharth, again. We'll try to reconnect again. Siddharth, if you can just pause and, reboot and we can get you back only for 30 seconds. लेकिन ज्ञान जी, आई थिंक शीतल जी ने एक बहुत बढ़िया बात बोली. वो ये कहते हैं कि अगर भाई कांग्रेस अपने रूल स्टेट से हार जाती है, अगर अब मानिए अशोक गहलोत हार जाते हैं राजस्थान, एंटी इनकम्बेंसी तो है, एमएलएस के खिलाफ जबरदस्त है, उनकी टिकट भी नहीं काटी है, अशोक गहलोत का ही चला है टिकट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में, जादूगर अपने आप को कहते हैं, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री तो कहते हैं कि दिसंबर 3 को कांग्रेस छूमंतर हो जाएगी.
See, very simple, and he will say, "Calm dil se Congress phir se." This is the tagline of our Congress party, and there is a very big difference between trends and anti-incumbency. I must repeat, you are talking about trends. There was no anti-incumbency. If you go and see about 3.15 crore people, we have discussed about our Congress Jan Ghosna Path. We have discussed around this much people, and then you have drafted it. So it is there. We have not felt any anti-incumbency. In fact, the BJP on the other side is disputed. They have put the 7 MP in the state election. Can you see how scared they are? And if you are talking about the face of the Narendra Modi fighting,
Gyan ji, you can't deny the fact that there is anti-incumbency. There is corruption, paper leak is such an important issue. Either you believe कि सिर्फ वोटर को वेलफेयर स्कीम दीजिए, मुफ्त की रेवड़िया दीजिए और सब कुछ भूल जाएगा वोटर. आपको ऐसे ही लगता है? इसका मतलब है शिप्रा, your closing comments, 30 seconds. Shipra.
Yeah, I believe that
how big is women's safety also, Shipra?
And so voter is very, very intelligent apparently, because in Rajasthan, if you have seen the past elections also, they know that in assembly election how to vote and in the general election how to vote. So they will assess on the basis of the performances of both the parties, and giving you a ground reality again. The voters might not be happy with BJP MLA or Congress MLA, but they are very clear that if the local issues are being addressed by any of the candidates, and Modi might not be, Modi wave might not be there, but it has an impact on them, that if some promises are made, then double engine promise is an appealing factor for them. So I believe that it is going to be a very close fight, but voter will decide very intelligently.
जी, your assessment, आखिरी 30 सेकंड आपके हैं. किसको एज है शीतल जी? राजस्थान में किसको एज है इस समय?
नहीं, जो हमारे पास फीडबैक है वो डिफरेंट सर्वेज का है, वो तो नेचुरली वहां एक चेंज की बात करता है, तो वो एज समझ में आता है बीजेपी के लिए है. कांग्रेस ने अभी मोशन अपना तेज किया है और कोशिश की है कि जो उनके चिंक्स में प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, जैसे जहां गुजर पॉपुलेशन है, राहुल गांधी कल वहां थे और ले गए थे अपने साथ पायलट साहब को, और पायलट साहब भी आजकल काफी एक्टिव होते हुए उस एरिया में नजर आ रहे हैं. जिस दिन से सोनिया गांधी जी आई हैं उस दिन से थोड़ा सा कांग्रेस का मोमेंटम नजर आ रहा है, लेकिन अब इस समय आखिरी 10 दिन में 7 दिन में वो मोमेंटम वहां तक पहुंच जाएगा. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो इस प्रोग्राम में अभी कहने का मौका उतना नहीं है, समय भी नहीं है, नहीं तो उन सब पे बात होती जो शायद कांग्रेस करती तो बेहतर स्थिति में होती. अदरवाइज वहां का जो एक टेम्परामेंट रहा है राजस्थान में कि वो बदल देते हैं हर बार 5 साल में, और पिछली बार का जो गैप था बहुत ही जरा सा गैप था, 1% भी पूरा गैप नहीं था. तो बीजेपी बहुत क्लोज थी, हालांकि वो चुनाव नहीं जीत पाई थी या हार गई थी और काफी सीटें उसकी कम थी, लेकिन बहुत डिफरेंस नहीं था. तो कांग्रेस को बहुत चीजें करने की जरूरत थी अगर उनको हराना है ये इलेक्शन, या हो सकता है वो कर रहे हो, लेकिन बाकी तो ये है कि अर्बन सेंटर्स में जो है साफ साफ नजर आता है कि बीजेपी के फेवर में चीजें हैं, लेकिन रूरल सेक्टर्स में बहुत जगह कांग्रेस के लोग बताते हैं कि उन्होंने जो ये बीमा योजना हेल्थ को लेकर दी हुई है, ये जिसको अब 50 लाख कर दिया गया है, ये शायद काफी कैच कर रहा है. लेकिन अब देखिए जब वोट पड़ेगा तभी पता चलेगा कि सचमुच में ये कहाँ है.
ठीक है, लेकिन शीतल जी, वोटर स्मार्ट है. वोटर ये जानता है कि इलेक्शन से चंद दिन पहले, चंद घंटे पहले अगर कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी इस तरह के अनाउंसमेंट्स करती है शिप्रा, तो उसका क्या मतलब होता है. समय की कमी है, बट शीतल जी, शिप्रा एंड ज्ञान जी एंड ऑल्सो सिद्धार्थ फॉर जॉइनिंग अस, थैंक यू सो मच. We'll keep our eyes focused on the big Rajasthan battle. Quickly heading into a break. On the other side, we are back with lots more.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
We are reporting from the armistice line of agreement and the intense small arms firing that is taking place as the day has begun. There was a briefing for the Israel media by the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in which he has made it amply clear that there is going to be no permanent ceasefire, but yes, there is a possibility of temporary ceasefire in exchange of the hostages. As we speak, there are loud bangs that are taking place inside the Gaza city, very close to the Jabalia refugee camp and also Al Fakura, the UN school where the operations were carried out. Parliament of the Hamas Political Bureau has been captured by the Israel Defense Forces. This comes on the 30th day of the war. Recovery of the arms and ammunition from the basement of Rantisi Hospital, which is the hospital of the children in the Gaza Strip, and that was occupied by the terrorists of Hamas, the underground tunnel system, the basement being used by the terrorists of Hamas, possibly to keep the hostages, as being said by the Israel Defense Forces. This speaks of the volumes that how the schools, the mosques, the kindergartens and also the hospitals are being used as their bases, the hideouts by the terrorists of Hamas, and now many of them has been busted.
पीछे गाजा बॉर्डर भी देख पा रहे हैं, जहां पर लगातार हमले तेज हो रहे हैं। आईडीएफ की तरफ से वीडियो जारी कर बताया गया है कि गाजा पट्टी में कैसे एक्शन में नजर आ रही है 400वीं ब्रिगेड, उसकी तस्वीर अब सामने आई है। आईडीएफ का ऑपरेशन लगातार एडवांस स्टेज में आता हुआ नजर आ रहा है।
चुनौतियां जहां गाजा सिटी से आगे बढ़ने की थी, अब वो चुनौतियां दोबारा वहीं सरहदी इलाकों पर आ गई हैं, क्योंकि हमास काफी ज्यादा चुनौती दे रहा है। हमास अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ है, ये बात जो है इजराइल भी जानता है, और यही कारण है कि बार बार उनकी पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप ये कह रही है कि ये जंग लंबे समय तक चलेगी।
कांग्रेस वो पार्टी है जो निवेशकों को भगाती है।
क्या डर है आपको और किससे डरे हुए हैं जो आप कास्ट सेंसस नहीं करा रहे हैं?
आज 1 करोड़ नौजवान मध्य प्रदेश में बेरोजगार हैं।
किसानों के लिए जो काम भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने किया, कांग्रेस ने कभी किया था क्या?
राहुल गांधी को जो है ना पॉलिटिकल एमनीजिया की बीमारी है।
एक कांग्रेस पार्टी ना देश का विकास कर सकती है ना मध्य प्रदेश का।
ये तोप के गोले हैं, जरा इनकी साइज देखिए, और इन्हीं तोप के गोलों से हिजबुल्लाह के आतंकियों का इलाज किया जा रहा है। ये वो टैंक है जिसकी रेंज करीब 35 किलोमीटर है। ये मतो टैंक कहा जाता है, और जिस तरफ आप बैरल का मुंह देख रहे हैं उस तरफ हिजबुल्लाह के आतंकवादी हैं। हम इस वक्त जिस इलाके में हैं, यहाँ पर एक्टिव वॉर जोन है। यहाँ करीब 500 की तादाद में आर्टिलरी मैन तैनात किए गए हैं। ये मतो टैंक है जो हिजबुल्लाह के आतंकवादियों को चुन चुन कर उनका सफाया कर रहा है।
आईडीएफ कर रही थी उसके मुताबिक सुरंग मिली है और उसका वीडियो जारी किया गया है। 55 मीटर लंबी और 10 मीटर गहरी ये सुरंग मिली है अल शिफा अस्पताल के कॉम्प्लेक्स से।
We'll now share this video that shows the same hostage entering into the hospital with a gunman, terrorist inside the hospital.
जो सस्पेक्ट किया गया था इजरायली डिफेंस फोर्सेस की तरफ से वो यहाँ पर वाकई मिलता दिखाई दे रहा है।
इस वक्त हम एक्टिव वॉर जोन में हैं और जिस जगह पर हम हैं यहाँ से हिजबुल्लाह को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है। ये आर्टिलरी जोन है जहाँ पर लगातार हमले हो रहे हैं। उस तरफ जिधर हिजबुल्लाह के आतंकवादी उन दूर पहाड़ियों पर बैठे हुए हैं और वहाँ से वो फायर करते हैं और उसका जवाब यहाँ से जो आर्टिलरी वेपन्स हैं, जो आर्टिलरीज हैं, वो जवाब देते हैं। ऐसे ही बहुत सारे आर्टिलरी वेपन्स यहाँ पर इंस्टॉल किए गए हैं और हिजबुल्लाह पर सीधे हमले करते हैं। यहाँ पर आर्मी एक्टिवली लगातार हिजबुल्लाह पर हमले कर रही है।
Rahul hurls Panoti abuse at the Prime Minister.
क्रिकेट मैच में चला जाएगा, वो अलग बात है कि हरवा दिया। पनौती पीएम मतलब पनौती मोदी।
PM backs Team India. Rahul calls him Panoti. Rahul spins Panoti logic, debating tonight at 9 p.m. Rahul hurls Panoti abuse at the Prime Minister.
क्रिकेट मैच में चला जाएगा, वो अलग बात है कि हरवा दिया। पनौती पीएम मतलब पनौती मोदी।
PM backs Team India. Rahul calls him Panoti. Rahul spins Panoti logic, debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Israel is all prepared for the big war, the Hamas terrorists.
The rockets being fired, of course, at Kibbutz Be'eri only.
बहुत सारे ऐसे इलाके हैं जहां अभी भी हमास के आतंकी फायर कर रहे हैं।
Get down again, it's a missile.
कम से कम दर्जन भर रॉकेट्स की आवाज आई है जो हिजबुल्लाह ने दागे हैं।
We have been hearing continuously an explosion.
तकरीबन 50 से 70 BMP जो हैं वो फॉरवर्ड एरियाज पर हैं।
The people here were staying, but there was a rocket that was fired.
एशकुलॉन की तरफ टैंक्स जा रहे हैं।
हमारी सबसे बड़ी टीम ग्राउंड जीरो पर है।
Well, in the poll-bound state of Telangana, Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has now taken on the BRS. In fact, he says that there would be a calendar of corruption and scandals that have been put out for the public to witness, and in each of these scandals there is a link of the BRS. Listen in to what the Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis had to tell my colleague.
As Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, who is campaigning here in the state of Telangana. Sir, आप यहाँ पे campaigning कर रहे हैं। अभी आपको सुना हमने, आप BRS और KCR को आप कह रहे हैं कि BRS की जगह FRS लगाना चाहिए। हालांकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी और कल अमित शाह भी यहाँ पे कैंपेनिंग कर रहे थे। आप यहाँ की माहौल को किस तरह से देखते हैं और आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं?
देखिए, मैंने इसलिए कहा कि FRS होना चाहिए क्योंकि ये अभी फैमिली राज समिति हो गई है और मैं यहाँ जो माहौल देख रहा हूँ पूरे तरीके से लोगों का मन बना है, बदलाव करना चाहते, बीजेपी के साथ जाएंगे।
सर, साथ ही साथ कांग्रेस पार्टी जो है वो कांग्रेस पार्टी जो है यहाँ पे आरोप लगाती है कि बीजेपी, BRS और MIM एक है, हालांकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ये कहती है कि कांग्रेस, BRS और MIM एक।
देखिए, ये तो बहुत साफ है, सारे लोग किसके खिलाफ बोलते हैं? मोदी जी के। ये सब मिलकर मोदी जी को हटाना चाहते हैं, मोदी जी की पार्टी को कम करना चाहते हैं। ये सारे एक है, अंदर से इनकी मिलीभगत है। हमको तो यहाँ तक पता है कि कांग्रेस के कुछ कैंडिडेट्स के साथ ऑलरेडी BRS का डील हो चुका है।
सर, बीजेपी जो है, बीजेपी ने एक बहुत बड़ा दावा खेला है जहां पे बीजेपी ने अनाउंस किया एक BC मुख्यमंत्री होने का। हालांकि अपोजिशन पार्टीज BRS और कांग्रेस उस पे कहती है कि पहले बीजेपी यहाँ पे कुछ सीट तो जीत जाए।
बीजेपी जीतेगी, सत्ता में आएगी। ये लोग पिछले चुनाव में भी ऐसा ही कहते थे, लेकिन लोकसभा में मुख्यमंत्री जी की बेटी को हमने हरा दिया। इसलिए बीजेपी को कम मत आकिए, बीजेपी पक्का जीतेगी और BC CM बनाएगी।
कांग्रेस पार्टी को आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि यहाँ के TPCC चीफ रेवंत रेड्डी जो है वो भी 2 जगह से कंटेस्ट कर रहे हैं और बीजेपी ने ईटल राजेंद्र को भी 2 जगह से कंटेस्ट करने का ऐलान किया।
देखिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी का न देश में कहीं वजूद है, न तेलंगाना में कोई वजूद होने वाला है। वो केवल आवाज बड़ी कर रहे हैं, उन्हें कुछ नहीं है।
राहुल गांधी ने कल एक कमेंट किया, पूछते हैं भारत माता कौन है, आप क्या कहेंगे?
यही तो राहुल गांधी का प्रॉब्लम है, जिसको भारत माता पता नहीं है। वो व्यक्ति देश को क्या लीड करेंगे? इस देश के साथ उनका कोई जुड़ाव नहीं है। देश की संस्कृति, देश की मिट्टी, इसके बारे में उनको कोई प्यार नहीं है। ऐसा ही व्यक्ति ऐसा सवाल कर सकता है।
That was Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, speaking to us on Republic TV. This is Haneri Shah with video journalist Chansna for Republic TV.
Shift focus now to Uttarakhand, where the rescue operation in Uttarkashi still continues. 41 laborers are still stuck in the tunnel. In fact, the government has now laid out a 5-point plan. There has been the first big breakthrough on Monday evening when a 6-inch pipe was basically inserted through which essential commodities were being sent to the family members. For the first time, there was also a communication that was established on your screen. These are the images that are coming in of the flexi camera that was actually used by those who were carrying out the rescue operation. Take a look at this report.
आपको बता दें कि आज 10वां दिन है और तमाम जो 41 मजदूर हैं वो अंदर फंसे हुए हैं। उन्हें बचाने की जो जद्दोजहद है वो लगातार जारी है। एक खुशी की खबर ये आती है कि 41 मजदूरों की जो अंदर की स्थिति है वो कैमरे के जरिए कैमरे में रिकॉर्ड करके मीडिया के सामने और उनके परिजनों के सामने सबको दिखाया गया और बताया गया कि उनकी स्थिति कैसी है। लेकिन फिलहाल मैं आपको बता दूं कि जिन पाइप्स की बात आप इतने दिन से लगातार सुन रहे हैं कि इन पाइप को डाला जाएगा और उसी के थ्रू मजदूरों को बाहर निकाला जाएगा। आपको बता दें कि 22 मीटर की जो ड्रिलिंग हुई है उसमें से 900 mm का जो पाइप है उसे पहले ही डाला जा चुका है। उसके बाद 800 mm का जो पाइप है उसे अभी ट्रक से अनलोड कर लिया गया है जिसे लेकर जाया जाएगा। और इस वक्त ये जो पाइप आप देख रहे हैं ये 700 mm का पाइप है जिसे आपको बता दें सीधे तौर पर अब लेकर जाया जाएगा। और इस पाइप के अंदर आपको मैं बताऊं कि इसी तरीके से जैसे आप मुझे यहाँ पर देख पा रहे हैं, यानी कि 900 mm के पाइप में 800 mm का पाइप डाला गया, उसके बाद ये 700 mm का पाइप जो है वो डाला जाएगा। और आप ये समझिए कि 900 mm के पाइप में जब 800 mm का पाइप जाएगा और 700 mm का अंदर डाला जाएगा, उसके बाद उसकी बिल्डिंग करने में जो है बेल्डिंग जो की जाती है उसमें समय कम लगेगा और वो मजबूती के साथ में बेल्ड कर दिया जाएगा। फिर इसी तरीके से कुछ इसी तरीके से मैं उदाहरण के तौर पे आपको दिखा रही हूँ, क्रॉल करते हुए जो हमारे मजदूर हैं, अगर ऑगर मशीन ठीक से काम कर जाती है तो वो इसी तरीके से क्रॉल करते हुए उन तीनों पाइपों के माध्यम से निकलकर बाहर आ सकते हैं। और ये पाइप जो है मलबे को चीरती हुई, यानी कि मलबे के बीच में से इसे डाला जाएगा। 900, 800 और 700 अभी तक का प्लान जो आप देख रहे थे वो सिर्फ 900 mm पाइप का था कि 900 mm पाइप डाला गया, लेकिन वो कारगर साबित नहीं हुआ। उसकी जो बेल्डिंग है वो ठीक तरीके से नहीं हो पा रही थी। इसी वजह से अब प्लान चेंज किया गया, 800 और 700 mm का जो पाइप है उसे लेकर जाया गया। और ये जो तस्वीर मैं आपको दिखा रही हूँ, इसी तरीके से क्रॉल करते हुए हमारे जो मजदूर हैं वो बाहर आ पाएंगे इन्हीं तीनों पाइपों के माध्यम से। तो ये एक्सक्लूसिव वीडियो है। उदाहरण के तौर पर मैंने आपको दिखाया कि इसी तरीके से मजदूर जो है वो बाहर आने में सफल हो पाएंगे। तो रिपब्लिक भारत लगातार एक एक तस्वीर आपको दिखा रहा है। ये वो तरीका है जिससे ऑगर मशीन काम करके पाइप को अंदर डालेगी और ये सभी मजदूर बाहर आ जाएंगे।
Well, the rescue operation has entered the 10th day. Question that is there on everyone's mind as to why exactly this is taking so much time. The answer to that question is largely because of the challenges that the central agencies are facing in carrying out the rescue operation, and this certainly isn't easy. Something that has been acknowledged by several experts. My colleague Akhil spoke to one such tunnelling expert who's been there at the spot, saying that perhaps the central agencies, 5 central agencies which are currently working at the ground, they are doing whatever is needed to ensure that the 41 labourers are taken out as soon as possible. Take a look at this interview by my colleague Akhil.
So, according to you, Professor Dick, what is the current scenario inside the tunnel? How do you see this moving forward, the operation moving forward?
Well, at the moment, we've got multiple rescue missions all happening concurrently. And so, although no one knows which mission will be the successful one, we've got 5 going on right now. So we've got the mission through the collapse area with various techniques going in that way. We've got a mission in the side of the mountain trying to intercept the tunnel. We've got a mission from the top of the mountain coming down, and we've got a mission coming from the other end of the tunnel coming in. So I'm sure we're going to rescue the men. I'm sure they're coming home. I'm just not sure when. Okay.
So, Professor Dick, you have got the expertise of 30 years in this field. Could you please explain to our audience, as you mentioned that there's a 5-pronged strategy, one from the front, the head of the tunnel, another from back side of the tunnel, that is the tail of the tunnel, another from the side, one from the vertical side of the tunnel, right? Could you please explain for our audience, in a layman's language, what are the advantages and disadvantages associated with those endpoints?
So I can best explain them by just showing you a little bit of the rocks and actually explaining to you, you're my new geology tunnelling class, okay? So I just want to show you what's inside your mountain, and it's really tricky. So right here behind me, and do you mind if I just put my back a little bit to you?
Right.
The first thing I want to show you is this mountain right here is collapsing. In fact, it's probably collapsing overnight, and if you look at the rocks, I can just pull them out with my fingers, and I'll show you. They're just smashed pieces of rock. So this tells me that right here, where we're standing, hopefully not right now, this is an avalanche position, right here. There's been an avalanche here quite recently, and it was an avalanche that occurred within the tunnel. So what we're looking at here is an example of how a mountain collapses, and these little broken rocks and all this fine mud is an example. Now, interestingly, immediately to our right is a huge boulder. So if we look, I'm not sure if your cameraman can turn his camera and look, but this here is a great big boulder. This is a boulder, the size of a small house. And this is in amongst the mud and the small rocks, in amongst these littler rocks as well. And this whole mountain is, as I call it, alive and moving. So in a geological sense, when we go to build a tunnel, and we're building a tunnel through these mountains, we have to try and tell exactly where these avalanche points are. Now here on this piece
how do you describe those avalanche points basically? How do you distinguish it from the normal points? Could you please elaborate the soil condition over here?
Yeah, so what we do is we categorize the rock into different classes classes of rock, and depending on the class, it's how we provide the support in the tunnel. So in the tunnel that's collapsed, there's a particular type of support which has been provided, and anticipating particular ground type. So here, when I look at this rock, I can see it's moving. I can see the cracks and everything here. I can see when I touch it with my hands that it's going to fall apart. I can see the little breaking bits of rock.
We can find it. I mean,
yeah.
Could you please just see?
Yeah, sure.
These are the breaking points.
So I don't want to pull the big one out because maybe the mountain will fall. But let's pull a little one. I'll get a little one out. Here we go. So look, just crumbling in my hands. And this is the rock. This one. Right. This is what we've got in the tunnel. Right. So I know, because this is what I do when I'm in the tunnel doing my work, it's very slippery, feels a little bit like soap. It breaks, like you saw it break before, like in my hands. Like this, it's just breaking. And what's happened in the tunnel is a big area like this has just fallen down thousands of tons into the tunnel.
Right.
So,
Professor Jake, how long will it take for the rescuers to safely rescue
before I rescue you, I've got your arm. It's going to take. Yeah, I've got your hand. Are you right? Yeah. Okay. This is good. This is So how long? Yeah.
Who are basically stuck inside that tunnel.
Yeah. So I've got you. This is cooperation, huh? So best case, we're talking a few days, and it could be, in my view, it could be up to a couple of weeks. But we're not. It's not a guarantee whether it's a few days or something a little longer. What's important is that they're brought home safe, and that no rescuers are hurt as well. And as you see from doing this here, this is what we're dealing with. This is why we're being so careful. Here's me now sitting. You've already slid down the mountain, and we're not even in the tunnel yet.
Rahul hurls Panoti abuse at the Prime Minister.
क्रिकेट मैच में चला जाएगा, वो अलग बात है कि हरवा दिया पनौती। पीएम मतलब पनौती मोदी।
PM backs Team India. Rahul calls him Panoti. Rahul spins Panoti logic, debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass-comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
दावे आईडीएफ कर रही थी उसके मुताबिक सुरंग मिली है और उसका वीडियो जारी किया गया है। 55 मीटर लंबी और 10 मीटर गहरी ये सुरंग मिली है अल-शिफा अस्पताल के कॉम्प्लेक्स से।
We'll now share this video that shows the same hostage entering into the hospital with the gunman, terrorist inside the hospital.
जो सस्पेक्ट किया गया था इजरायली डिफेंस फोर्सेस की तरफ से वो यहाँ पर वाकई मिलता दिखाई दे रहा है।
इस वक्त हम एक्टिव वॉर जोन में हैं और जिस जगह पर हम हैं यहाँ से हिजबुल्लाह को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है। ये आर्टिलरी जोन है जहाँ पर लगातार हमले हो रहे हैं। उस तरफ जिधर हिजबुल्लाह के आतंकवादी उन दूर पहाड़ियों पर बैठे हुए हैं और वहाँ से वो फायर करते हैं और उसका जवाब यहाँ से जो आर्टिलरी वेपन्स हैं, जो आर्टिलरीज हैं, वो जवाब देते हैं। ऐसे ही बहुत सारे आर्टिलरी वेपन्स यहाँ पर इंस्टॉल किए गए हैं और हिजबुल्लाह पर सीधे हमले करते हैं। यहाँ पर आर्मी एक्टिवली लगातार हिजबुल्लाह पर हमले कर रही है। ये तोप के गोले हैं, जरा इनकी साइज देखिए और इन्हीं तोप के गोलों से हिजबुल्लाह के आतंकियों का इलाज किया जा रहा है। ये वो टैंक है जिसकी रेंज करीब 35 किलोमीटर है। ये मतो टैंक कहा जाता है और जिस तरफ आप बैरल का मुंह देख रहे हैं उस तरफ हिजबुल्लाह के आतंकवादी हैं। हम इस वक्त जिस इलाके में हैं यहाँ पर एक्टिव वॉर जोन है। यहाँ करीब 500 की तादाद में आर्टिलरी मैन तैनात किए गए हैं। ये मतो टैंक है जो हिजबुल्लाह के आतंकवादियों को चुन चुन कर उनका सफाया कर रहा है।
लाइन पर मौजूद हैं और आप मेरे पीछे गाजा बॉर्डर पर लगातार तेज होती बम्बार्डमेंट की तस्वीरें सीधे देख पा रहे हैं। इस्माइल हानिये जो पूरी तरह से हेड करता है हमास को, उसके घर को देर रात जो है स्ट्राइक्स हुई हैं, उसमें नेस्तनाबूद कर दिया गया है। अल शिफा अस्पताल में भी ऑपरेशन जारी है। जो जानकारी IDF की तरफ से दी गई है उसमें बताया गया कि उसके अंदर तमाम जो हथियार है, एडवांस्ड वेपन्स हैं जिनका इस्तेमाल हमास इजराइल के खिलाफ करता है, वो वेपन्स बरामद किए गए हैं। हमास की तरफ से कहा गया कि 3 दिन का अगर सीज फायर किया जाता है तो कुछ बंधकों को छोड़ा जा सकता है।
We are reporting from the armistice line of agreement and the intense small arms firing that is taking place as the day has begun. There was a briefing for the Israel media by the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in which he has made it amply clear that there is going to be no permanent ceasefire, but yes, there is a possibility of temporary ceasefire in exchange of the hostages. As we speak, there are loud bangs that are taking place inside the Gaza city, very close to the Jabalia refugee camp and also Al-Fakura, the UN school where the operations were carried out. Parliament of the Hamas political bureau has been captured by the Israel Defense Forces. This comes on the 30th day of the war. Recovery of the arms and ammunition from the basement of Rantisi Hospital, which is the hospital of the children in the Gaza Strip, and that was occupied by the terrorists of Hamas, the underground tunnel system. The basement being used by the terrorists of Hamas, possibly to keep the hostages, as being said by the Israel Defense Forces. This speaks of the volumes that how the schools, the mosques, the kindergartens and also the hospitals are being used as their bases, the hideouts by the terrorists of Hamas.